Every once in a while, you'll listen to one of those albums that's so unique that you just can't compare it to anything else. And Tame Impala's Currents is one of those albums that nobody was ready for. Released in the summer of 2015, Currents would be a very deliberate and important change in Tame Impala's already unique sound. Kevin Parker, the man behind Tame Impala, describes the album by saying it's about moving on and being his personal transformation. Lyrically, the songs grapple with different transitions in life, mainly about relationships, but it also talks about growing up and heartbreaks. Throughout the album, the songs explore almost every way that you can get your heart broken, from love triangles to letting go of a partner, trust and distrust, and many more. Currents has got to be one of the most unique sounding albums. I couldn't name another album that comes even close to it. Another interesting thing about it is that it's one of those albums that sounds like the album cover, if that makes any sense. The distorted vortex fits perfectly with the distorted, electric, existential sound of the album. Currents has this cinematic or grand type of style, especially for songs like Let It Happen, or the first song on the album. A lot of people say that the song is too long and repetitive, but it's a long build-up that leads to a heavenly opening to many stories that the album will tell. Most of the songs on Currents are titled about what they're going to be about, which you'll understand a little bit more later when I talk about other songs. But for Let It Happen, it's about letting the change happen and embracing the change. The song builds an irresistible cinematic sound that is unlike any other Tame Impala song or any other song made before, and it's such a great opening for this album. There's actually a section during the song where he's just singing random phrases. He said it was because when he was making this song, those were just placeholders to figure out how it would sound until he wrote lyrics that sounded good. But he wasn't able to write solid lyrics that sounded as good as the gibberish, so he just stuck with that. I think that in today's music economy, the thing that makes some artists more popular or just more respected is their uniqueness and not following specific expectations or even not being afraid to make a sudden change in style. You can always tell when someone's making something to just follow trends and please the public, whether it's music, movies, or even YouTube videos. Eventually, they'll get tired of making the same thing over and over again and they'll fall off or quit completely. The second song I'd like to highlight for this video is Eventually, which is the fifth track on the album following Nangs, The Moment, and Yes I'm Changing, which are all great songs on the album. Eventually is a smooth, rocky, psychedelic trip into Kevin Parker's mind, where he lyrically depicts the impending breakup of a relationship and that'll eventually come. He says things like, I wish I could turn you back into a stranger, which dig in the point of the song and the entire album. It definitely has a stronger rock sound that we would see a lot of on his album released in 2020, The Slow Rush, with songs like Borderline and One More Hour. The chorus is really cinematic, and in my opinion, it feels a little bit nostalgic in a way. Let me know what you think about it. Kevin Parker actually writes, records, performs, and produces all of the music from Tame Impala and Currents, which you might think, so what, isn't that obvious? But a lot of people, including me, actually thought that his music was made by a whole band. Tame Impala's most popular song and the seventh song on Currents is The Less I Know The Better, and I had to talk about it for this video. The song is just shy of 2 billion streams on Spotify, and it's a poetic song story of a love triangle. The story is set up in the first 4 lines, with the lyrics saying, he describes how he was doing fine without her, but still holds part of her close to him, that reawakens when he sees her. In the end of it all, he eventually moves on and decides that he has to leave her in the past, and to forget about her. Therefore, the less he knows, the better. If there's one thing I love talking about on this channel other than music, it's Black Mirror episodes. And this is a good time to find an excuse to talk about a specific one that came out in Season 7. So if you're planning on watching that, you should probably skip this part of the video. So Season 7, Episode 5 of Black Mirror is called Eulogy, and it's about a man who was asked to share pictures for his ex-girlfriend's funeral, but the breakup was so rough for him that he covered or ripped out her face in every picture that he had. The company that asked him for the pictures is a system where he can sort of go into a simulation of the image by using his memory and the picture he's looking at. So throughout the episode, he's basically going into all of these different pictures and remembering every little memory, and you start discovering why they broke up and all the problems that were going on. But the reason I'm talking about it is it's just a great love story, and I feel like the story could be used in one of these types of songs. This brings me to the final song in the album, New Person, Same Old Mistakes, which is a more lyrical song and is different from the other songs. The thing that sticks out for this song is the heavy slapping bass that it has. The song is Kevin Parker confessing that the sudden metamorphosis in music is a sort of warning, and should be read with caution. Through the lyrics, he describes how he might not be as unique as he thinks, and that despite becoming a new person, he's not sure how to feel about it, and that it's a completely new direction. This song is a super fitting conclusion to the album, as it's a majestic goodbye to the old Tame Impala, and that his music would be new, or a new person. Tame Impala's Currents is an album that once you listen to it for the first time, you wish you could re-experience that first listen again. I know I didn't talk about every song on the album, but there's a few songs that are worth talking about. Yes, I'm Changing, the 4th song on the album, is an angelic song where he sings about his breakup with Melody Prachette. Let me know if I pronounced that wrong. He explains how even though they don't have a future together, she still has a bright future for herself and the same for him. He doesn't want the breakup to affect their futures and to make her think she doesn't have a purpose. The 8th song on the album, Past Life, is an electric, glitchy style track, and in this song, Kevin narrates a story in which he sees his past lover from his old relationship, what he calls his past life. Throughout the song, he speaks of the feelings that he went through seeing his past lover again. Finally, the second to last song, Love and Paranoia, is a poetic track that dives into paranoia in a relationship. The lyrics detail the experiences of somebody who's been cheated on before and is paranoid about their current partner doing the same. Currents is one of those albums that you only understand once you listen to it. So if you're watching this and haven't listened to it yet, I would suggest you give it a full front to back listen. Every once in a while I just re-listen to albums that I like or that were so unique on the first listen. Let me know what other albums you want me to talk about and what you thought of this video in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. You can check out my store on the screen. If you want to see a video better than this one, click one of the videos on screen.